I want you to look around your country today. You can see that the culture and the society are unraveling. You can see that the civil society is under attack. What is the biggest special interest group in this society today? What is the biggest special interest group in this country today? The biggest special interest group is, you ready? The federal government. The government is the biggest special interest group in the nation. Just listen to the debate in Wisconsin. The media and the Democrats are arguing for and fighting for protecting big government. Government employees, government unions, government jobs, government pensions, government health care. It's all about government. Not the people, not the taxpayers, not the voters, not the children. They are robbing you, the American taxpayer. You either pay confiscatory tax rates on your home, on your car in some places, on your income and so forth, levied against you and your family by the government on behalf of the government employees and their families, or you lose your home, or you go to prison, or at a minimum, you and your family lose the use and enjoyment of your own money that you earned. Have you noticed that government grows in good times and bad? I've talked about this before. Now, the law of economics would suggest otherwise. But that's power for you. Nobody, no conservative opposes a reasonable level of government. Governments that comport with the size and limits and role prescribed by federal and state constitutional authority or local legal authority. But confiscating tens of thousands of dollars from the citizenry, each household, each family, enormous sums of money to pay for unconscionable benefits, endless programs, and a myriad of nonsense is plunder. Plunder. Pure and simple. Plunder. Now, because government is a special interest, the biggest special interest, we now exist to fund it. We, the people, we exist to fund the government. You can hear the arguments. We can't cut this, we can't cut that. Why not? Because we exist for government rather than the other way around. And if the politicians and bureaucrats have their way, we'll have no recourse either. For them, elections don't matter. Their demands and interests, which are now contrary to those of ours, are said to be inviolable rights, rights that cannot be altered in any way. This is why they put appropriation spending language in an authorizing bill so that you, the people, don't have an opportunity to stop them in the next election. This is why they sign contracts with teachers' unions that go 3, 4, 5, 6 years at a time so that you, the people, at the local level, when you vote, you can't affect them. We're now up against a force that is demanding that we, the people, voluntarily enslave ourselves to more taxes, to more government, and to more debt. And this force is trying to break our will. It is trying to break our spirit. It is trying to establish in any way it can a permanent rearrangement of society, where the government is supreme and rules over each of us. And as we look around today, as we watch what's going on, we can see that our government, the biggest special interest in society, through its bureaucrats and supporters, is now using intimidation, threats, and even force to overturn election results, to shut down representative government in the states, and to silence opposition. It is a purposeful strategy. It was revealed a few weeks ago that Tim Kaine, who seeks to be a senator, likely from Virginia, as chairman of the Democratic National Committee, was behind much of the organizing of this effort in coordination with the White House. That would be the president. There's a reason why the president of the United States has been absolutely silenced about the death threat letters, about the death threats, about the tyranny going on in these state capitals, which he has helped foment. He's been silent for a reason. Do you want to know why? He supports it. You're looking at the man who sat in the pews of the so-called Reverend Right. The man who was taught Rules for Radical, Saul Alinsky's Communist Manifesto. The man who sought out Bill Ayers. The man who was a community rabble-rouser. He likes the rabble-rousing. He wants his supporters to get in your face. And he won't speak up because behind the scenes, his people are applauding. They are thrilled. Intimidation, threats, even force. None of their fingerprints on it effectively. But he doesn't speak out. And the media don't demand that he speak out. The media, well, they're enjoying this too. They want the pushback. They want the last election to be reversed. Not at the ballot box, but in the streets. And you can see the increased level of violence out there. We don't hear David Gregory at Meet the Press talking anymore about violent rhetoric. And yet it's all around us. It's all around us. We don't have to cherry pick a host here or there. It's daily. It's repeated. It's on video. It's on audio. But not a word from the rulers in Washington. Because the rulers in Washington want this battle. They want what's going on in the street. They like the fact that a state government was shut down for 3 weeks. In fact, they're at war politically with the state governments. They cannot tolerate diversity of views or the election results that just occurred. Now, our fourth branch of government, which I refer to as the administrative state, is a massive bureaucracy, a massive entity with so many offices and people we can't even count them. It issues so many regulations, we don't even know what they are. And those regulations have the full effect of law as if passed by Congress. Where is this in the Constitution? Nowhere. And yet it's a permanent force. It not only survives, it grows from one administration to the next, no matter who the president is. And it regulates without end. Look at our school system. The vast majority of our schools are controlled by the government. The people who work at these schools are represented by a union that pours tens of millions of dollars into the campaign coffers almost exclusively of Democrats, who in turn tax you to pay them more generous salaries and benefits than most of you earn. And if you object, you're pounded. They want to pound you into submission. And this just keeps spreading and spreading from one profession to another, from one service to another, from one industry to another, from one workplace to another. They're trying to gobble up our liberty and our private property rights. If they can't get what they want by the ballot box, they ignore the returns. They go to the courts. They go to regulations. They're never allowed to lose. They can only win. They'll have a few setbacks here and there, but in the end, they don't accept them. They don't play fair. If they don't have the votes, they don't allow a vote.